Buyer beware on assuming a seller's mortgage. You might get beat out. Hey, it's Craig back with another Mortgage Minute and want to talk to you about assuming a seller's mortgage. I've talked about this before and kind of explained how it works, but I think it's really important to understand if you're a buyer and you are wanting to assume a seller's mortgage, there's some really cool stuff about that, right? I mean, there's a lot of mortgages right now, people selling homes that have really, really low interest rates. But you need to understand that, hey, you might end up losing out on the sale of that home. Here's why I say that. Typically, when you're trying to assume a seller's mortgage, it could take anywhere from 90 to 120 days. Now, I'm painting with a bit of a broad brush here, right? I mean, every servicer's different on the time that it takes for them to do assumptions, but I don't think I'm exaggerating too much when I say typically it's probably going to take 90 to 120 days. Now, if you are a buyer thinking about buying a home, you need to understand something. The seller of that house could not care less what you do with your home loan. Okay, let me say that again. The seller does not care what you do with your home loan. The seller doesn't care if you get an abnormally low interest rate. The seller doesn't care if your interest rate is 400%. Okay. You have to understand something. That seller wants to sell the home. Okay. So here's the deal. If I'm a seller and I've got two people making an offer on my house, one of them says, "Hey, Ann, I want to assume your mortgage." And the other one says, "I don't care about assuming your mortgage. I've got my financing taken care of. I can close in 30 days." Everything else being equal, the seller is absolutely going to take that other offer. Okay. So you just have to understand that I know you want to get that seller's mortgage. If assuming that seller's got a really low interest rate on their mortgage, of course you would love to have that. I totally get that. But you need to understand as a buyer, you very likely are going to miss out on that transaction. So, my point of saying all that is assuming a seller's mortgage sounds really cool. And listen, if you can pull it off, I'm not trying to tell you not to do that, okay? If a seller's got a mortgage and the rate's 2.5%, because they just, a few years ago locked in an extremely low interest rate and they're willing to let you assume their loan and you can get it worked out, by all means do it. Okay. But you need to understand that if that's what you're relying on and that's the offer that you make to the seller, if there's any competition on that house at all, you're going to lose out because that seller is very quickly going to say, "I don't really care if the person assumes my house. I want to sell the home." That's always the seller's primary concern. I want to sell the home. So if you have questions on that, give me a call. Would love to talk to you. 615-498-5626. If you are looking to buy a home and you want to get pre approved, call me. Would love to help. And I appreciate you watching.